Welcome to the Hooked Pod. I'm Chunk.
And I'm the Chippy. And it's we were going to have a tackle talk today.
Were we?
It was going to be a demersal tackle talk as well. And that's okay down here in Albany. But we thought we better not have a tackle talk because we probably won't need much tackle for demersals in the next 21 months. But here at the table today, we've got Scotty Coghlan from the Western Angler. Thanks for coming, Scott.
Good to be here. No politics-free zone today.
Yep.
We're going to talk about herring and King George and squid.
Nice.
And we have a previous podder or podcaster. And thanks for coming in, Matt Walkerden.
G'day.
Now, Matt does a lot of fishing, and he does a lot of fishing at Wedge Island, where the parents have got a shack. Loves his fishing up there, and he does a lot of fishing down here. So we thought we'd get him in and see what his views were about what's our Christmas presents from the government this year.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Plan
very,
B.
very interesting time, especially. We're not going to talk commercial today, although we might touch on it. But we're here with Scott to talk recreational and all of these fantastic lures that we have in here. Scott, what I want you to do, I want you to pick out the ones we won't be able to use over the next 21 months.
We won't be able to use.
And if there's any left, we will go fishing.
There's a few left. Look, you can adapt.
Yeah, we can adapt.
Are we talking South Coast or West
Well,
Coast?
that's the thing. You'll be able to go south of Augusta or
use
you'll
them.
have to go north of Kalbarri to use a few of these.
It's the biggest change, I don't know, that I can recall probably since fisheries management first started, since the very first rules were drawn up. There would never have been anything like this.
No, I'm 61 and I can't recall anything as big as this for both recreational and commercial too. Let's go right back to the forum that you went to, Scotty, just not long ago, and tell us what that was all about. And was there anything revealed at that time?
There was very little revealed, and there was a lot of talk beforehand about the purpose of it and how much would be taken on board of what we came up with on the day. There were commercial people there were conservation people there were rec fishing people there. So
were they putting submissions in or things like
they were
this?
just taking ideas, and there was a lot of discussion. People got to get up and speak for a couple of minutes on their thoughts, and we had to put stuffs on paper, and we broke into groups and came up with lists of what we thought were the most important things. But I think in light of what we now know, really at the end of the day, that was, I think, a bit of a PR exercise, a bit of a box ticking.
Did you get free
because
lunch or
there was
anything?
no sense of what was coming
None
at
all.
that time.
Nobody
and
knew.
what we've been presented with. Maybe a couple of things were mentioned during that day, but I don't think anyone would have walked out of that thinking.
We knew there
what
was going to
gonna
be
happen would happen.
restrictions on dewies and pinks.
Yes, we did,
Certainly.
but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have
Not-
had any idea of
To the extent.
what
Not a-
actually came out.
11-month prohibition.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, we've got a 20 or 21 month now for Rex time off the water on the West Coast. Now, you already had 9 months anyway under the current rules. So
Yep.
I think that's a little bit of a perspective thing. And it's an extra 11 months. So people saying, I'm being booted off the water for 2 years. Well, you're already off the water
Yep.
for half of that, really, anyway. So
Yep.
it's an extra 11 months. That's what we're really
Flights to Bali,
talking
maybe.
about. They're going to be popular.
They
I
are.
think.
Yep.
It's going to, and regional towns, your Lehman, Cervantes, Jurien, Kalbarri, which is still
Greenhead.
in that West Coast bioregion at this time.
Yep.
It's going to affect a lot of people. I mean, there's no getting around how big it is, and a lot of people are angry, and it's understandable because there's no one that's really coming out of it as a winner. And I guess the government's position, is as long as the fish stocks are the winner, that's what we're worried about. But from a social and economic point of view, it's a huge
Maybe
cost.
something should have been happening beforehand. We
Well,
did
had
have
that
little tweaks and that.
Exactly. We had that
Yeah.
little tweak. I mean, the first Jewfish workshop, I think, was 2003, and that was the first point at which it was suggested that maybe there needed to be
Yep.
some more management. So it's taken us 23 years to
Yeah.
move from
It's a long
concerns being raised to
Yeah.
something significant being done. And we had Don Punch. He did his thing. God bless him. I'm not sure he really knew what he was doing. But, there was some reasoning behind it, but the whole, increasing the bag limit of dewies and getting rid of this just didn't sit well with people. And it was based around
It was a
mortality.
Band-Aid, wasn't it, sort of thing?
But it didn't really, it doesn't appear to have worked, does it?
No, not at all.
Funny story just come to mind. 20 years ago, if you talk to a lot of the old-time fishermen, You never caught a dewey on the south coast.
No.
They just never did.
No.
Unheard of. So I don't know whether it's weather patterns, currents, or whatever
you'd
it is.
think it- I mean,
or
I
it
s-
might have been fishing pressure.
I think a lot of it is weather, and the water is apparently slowly warming. The fish are slowly spreading.
What's the science say? Who
Because I
knows?
know people in Busso say they get a lot more baldies in Geograph Bay
Yes.
than they ever have.
Mm.
And we're down here, as you said, Andrew Jarvis, Cog, who's been on this show, goes offshore fishing a lot. Never used to see a dewey. Now he gets one every time he goes out. There's clearly a bit of a shift happening, and I'm not sure that's really accounted for in all this stuff. It's just the natural shift.
That's
the
quite
species.
interesting because they do talk in their reports. I was reading just recently about the South Coast demersal fish, is that when commercial guys move from one area to another, they take that into consideration, saying, oh, right, there's no more fish left there, so they've moved on to another spot. Maybe that's because the fish have moved.
Yeah.
And that could definitely be happening, with we know there's mackerel down here too, and things like that. So
Well, I think you'd need to do some serious DNA testing and all that sort of stuff to really get a handle on that. And I'm not sure that's been done.
Has anything been said on the West Coast about maybe some more fads or something like that so the guys can go and target?
Yeah. There's certainly more fads than there used to be.
But are they planning in the next 12 months that you know of? I don't.
I'm not sure they've planned
They're
any
good.
more on top of what they already have, but it's certainly we've got 20 plus fads along the coast nowadays, and they're putting in artificial reefs in different places as well. So, yeah, that's certainly part of it. And this is sort of the message we've got to get across to people, because a lot of people have said to me, I'm going to sell my boat. This is the end of my fishing. And you're like, no, you can do other stuff.
Yeah.
There are other species. I mean, we're coming into summer, for example, which is a great time. Along the West Coast, you're going to have mackerel and dollies and marlin and tuna.
Yep.
There's wahoo will pop up. I mean, we've got
Guys still
dollies off
crayfishing.
Albany.
Yeah.
we can go squidding, Matt. You're a big squidder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's because there's a lot of businesses that are going to be affected, and tackle shops are going to really hurt. Some tackle shops are 80% demersal gear sales. So,
right.
Yes.
I would encourage people to adjust and try chasing yellowtail kings. Try chasing sambos.
Yep.
Do different sort of stuff and
Yeah.
enjoy your time out on the water.
It is one
It
of
shouldn't
the.
just all be about catching a.
It
a
is
dewey
one of
or
the
a pinky.
things that we have to do, and which is what I've been trying to do for many years, is use underutilized fish.
Yeah.
And I mean, reckies have always said, "Oh, sambo, no, throw that back in the water."
See, I love catching sambos.
Yeah, they're good fun.
We like eating them, and I sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because when I first got down here 10 years ago, the pros said, "Oh, you won't want these." I said, "I'll give it a try,"
A bit different
and I sell
down
them
here,
every
though.
week now.
Because they're softer flesh up north, they get a lot of mush
Yeah, and they
runs.
do get worms and
Whereas
things
down
like
here
that
they
as
do.
well, but
You
they're
don't-
really good down here. Yeah,
Yeah.
the colder water must be better.
But see, I know a lot of people. Yeah, you talk about different fish. Like again, coming back to Cork, a lot of people tell him queen snapper's terrible. He loves catching in. He processes it
Yeah,
well straight away. He loves queen
I
snapper.
love 'em.
Chunky, he loves them too.
I love them, yeah.
And other people say, "No, neighbour fish."
I don't like the recovery of them, but they're really
No,
nice. eating.
straight, as long as you bleed them, like a lot of fish, if you bleed them, you look after them well.
There's nothing
ice
wrong with them, but they're
They're
not.
good-
They're not
good
the
chewing.
top.
Well, they're not the top, obviously, but
No.
they're no pink snapper. But
No, but you wouldn't throw
They're-
one back.
no, they're
Well,
good
you
chewing.
won't for the next 21 months.
Unless you get your bag limit.
Yeah.
Or
Like
4.
anything, you got to look at a positive in a situation and
Yeah.
learn how to adjust and not get stuck in a rut. And
And I get that there are guys who, that's their lifestyle. They have fish for pinkies and dewies for years, and that's what they get a boat for.
yeah,
But there just is other stuff you can do. And I think the other bit of perspective, and as I said, I know people are angry, is we've just talked about the fact it's an extra 11 months off the water. But and this is purely rec, this has nothing to do with commercial. The commercials have really copped a significant blow, and
Yeah.
I really feel for a lot of those guys because they're going to get bought out, but that doesn't really cover if it's a family business that's been in the family for generations and decades. It's a lifestyle. It's who they are.
yeah.
So no amount of money is actually going to really cover that. So
they've
I
still
would
got-
only ask that the government is respectful of that in dealing with these guys and rewards them appropriately in any way they can. But for the wrecks, you've got that extra time off the water. But when you come back in the West Coast bioregion after that extra 11 months off, that whole bioregion, 1,000 kilometres,
No commercial.
is just recreational.
Yep.
And that, whether people want to really see it or not, that is huge moving forward. And, it's not great for the next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It may be something that we'll look back and say that was
2 spawning
significant.
periods with no fish caught.
We should be using this as an opportunity not to get out of fishing. We should be using it to strengthen our position.
Yeah.
Jump on board, join a fishing club.
Yeah.
Look at there's political parties, shooters and fishers and stuff like that will, take up the fight. Maybe get behind them or get behind whoever to try and help our cause. Like this should motivate us all to be maybe a stronger group and a stronger
and looking after the resource, obviously.
Well, I think it's a great.
Everyone will agree that that's the number one be all and all.
Yeah, that's the base.
Well, it'll be interesting
because there's no fishing without the resource.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because one of the things is if you think about where it finishes at Kalbarri. And the next place that you can really put a boat in is either Shark Bay or Carnarvon, which is a long way.
Yeah.
And
that's another. There's so many angles to this. You've now got to consider how do you manage Shark Bay, how do you manage Carnarvon, how do we manage down here?
Because Shark Bay has been fixed up from years of damage from pink snapper.
We're going to see extra people coming down here to the south coast. So there are new bag limits coming. I think they're coming in the first half of next year. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do, because every action there's a reaction. So the rule changes here. There will be effects that they haven't. Yeah, they haven't announced
everything yet. That's right.
They'll have to deal with.
And I think they're going to come up with some plans after the 21 months. It'll be very interesting to see what the bag limits are.
Well, they're going to change. We're going to come back with new rules. There's no doubt. And so they're putting together an advisory committee, and I've had a lot of people ring me and say, I want to be on it. So I'm just passing that information on. I have no say in it whatsoever. I'm sure the government will handpick it. And I hope I don't have to be on it because I don't need that much stress in my life. But they're going to put together an advisory panel, and that will be their job, will be to come up with a way forward once we reopen.
Yeah.
I wonder also, I saw on social media this morning, I don't know how factual it is, but
AI
social media.
Apparently,
was it AI written after it?
Apparently, your boat regos and trailer regos have just increased as well.
They have, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. You can leave it in the shed for a bit longer.
Honestly, come on, could you get a bit of relief?
They go up every year, Matt. Come on.
Yeah, but so you've just taken away the bloke's rights to go fishing, and now you're going to
extra costs.
Slug on an extra. If there was 1 year, you might call an amnesty on it. Maybe this might have been the year to do it.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's the old take with one hand, give with the other.
There's something good about
taking in takes a lot more.
There's
than
something good about that. These lures might get a bit cheaper over the next 21
months.
months.
I think what they're going to do is
stock up while you can.
If you've got a boat fishing license, you're going to get either a voucher or a rebate or some sort of thing through tackle shops, so that you'll get you'll buy.
What about your boat rego?
Well, and as I said, they give with one hand, they take with the other.
Have you seen the rates of stamp duty, mate? You won't be getting a reduction on their registration.
This is a great step towards reducing our cost of living, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this is where, we talked about this before we came on air, this is where this particular thing has become a bit of a lightning rod for all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of people very dissatisfied with a lot of things, and this seems to have really
this is another
been
one.
A sticking point
on
where
the cake.
People were already angry. Now they're really, really angry. And I'm not even sure some of them know why they're angry.
Have you found that from the metro, or are you talking about people you know down here?
Just generally. I think maybe it is a social media thing, and maybe there's a quiet majority who just aren't getting involved.
But you know a lot of people around the whole state who fish. Yeah. So it's sort of all over.
There's a lot of people, but I think it's a lot of people who are upset about cost of living and fuel and
guns,
you name
everything.
It. The gun thing has been a huge, and this has sort of come on top of it. And I think people have just got very annoyed now.
Well, we're not going to talk too much about commercial today, but, we all feel sorry for those guys. But one of the things that is going to do, and talking about cost of living, and, that's the industry we're in. We're in the food industry. And to have the fish stocks cut by so much all at one hit, I don't think our interest rates on the house are going to go down for a while, because this is another hit to inflation. And, the price of fish has definitely got to go up.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a big thing for you because you run a fish and chip shop, so it's going to affect supply and price. And
90% is local fish.
It's just going to knock on wholesalers. It's just
all those big fish shops in Perth that you go to, Myaree, Sea Fresh, all those sorts of places. It'll be amazing to see the difference in the price
Just another hit
in
for you
another
guys.
3 months because it all finishes on the 1st of Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by Easter time and when everyone eats fresh seafood.
I wonder whether they'll look at opening up other fisheries. I don't know this for a fact, but other species perhaps to fill that sort of gap. And we've talked about it before. Maybe the shark fishery gets opened up a bit again because flake has been historically a very popular and affordable piece of fish, and I will happily eat flake in my fish and chips.
So does the guy next to you. He loves it.
So that may be
hopefully,
one of the because there's been no market for it. But maybe that market opens up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have charter boats up north just targeting shark.
I think they'll be thinking about it. I'm sure they'll be thinking about it.
I'm a bit mixed up about the charter boats in the Perth area because they are on tags at the moment.
Yeah, but only for another couple of weeks or another week or so, and then
they said that they can still go
outside the metro region.
Charter fishing for demersals will be closed in the metro area from the 16th of December.
Yeah, there's a outside a metro region which is separate to the West Coast.
Oh, right,
Fire region.
Yep.
So there has been some talk about whether they can continue at places like the Abrolhos and stuff like that, but I'm not sure that's been.
What about these?
Finalised?
They're talking like wind farms and that. Like there'll be big exclusion zones around them too. So that's going to cut down the area.
Well, as I said, when we're talking about people being angry, that's another. They're angry about these potential wind farms.
Yeah.
They're angry about the Coburn Sound Westport proposal. So all this is just being thrown into this melting pot of things to be annoyed about.
Seismic blasting.
Albany, they're proposing a desal.
The desal plant down here.
That didn't go so well in South Australia.
well, potentially.
The science is out on that one too, but
there's
science
actually
can be manipulated.
There's actually commercial fishermen coming over here at the moment because they've been obliterated over in South Australia from the algae.
And they want to put
There's a couple of guys here now.
one down at Nanarup.
Buying boats. So
is the site they're looking at now of Nanarup. So that would put the waste back out into
the brackish water
into the sound.
No, I don't think they're going to be allowed to do that. There's always been there's a lot of backlash about that already.
There is.
They want to do it off of Sandpatch or somewhere like that.
Well, no, they were talking.
Oh, you're talking about Nanarup.
Yeah, they were talking about Oyster Harbour.
Right.
Then they talked about, not Oyster, King George Sound near the whaling station. Then they've moved. They thought Sandpatch, and now they're thinking Nanarup.
Oh,
it's all about. I think what it breaks down to you could run that pipe out to the shelf and let the water go out there, but it's cost.
That's what I don't really understand.
It's cost.
Yeah,
because the cost of running it out there.
Yeah, but
they want to be
you're
as
talking
close
about
to
water for the next 100 years, Yeah,
but you need energy to run that. And
I mean, we're getting off topic a bit there, but that's an interesting one. When they were going to put it in King George Sound next to the whaling station, and people said, well, you can't put it there. There's not enough water movement, so all the sediment, etc., will just settle and it will have an effect. And I was like, why wouldn't you just put a big pipe, run it out past the islands, and there's plenty of water movement out there. And it would cost, but that's what governments are for, isn't it?
Yeah,
to find money
to spend
do
our
that
money,
sort of stuff.
Spend budgets
Anyway,
on certain things.
Confused me.
Anyway,
are we still not sure on what they're going to do with bag limits on the south coast?
We'll find out probably by the middle of the year, by the end of the financial year. I think they want to bring it in.
the same as until then.
Well, until they announce
because I'm going out fishing.
No, you'll be right tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But
and they'll give you a lot of notice.
Initially, I think they said second half of next year, but last I've heard is they want to do it by sort of April, May.
And they're still toying with numbers? There's nothing?
Yeah, there's nothing concrete. There's lots of rumours around. I mean, what's it, 5 and 8, 5 demersals, 8 reds, and I thought it might go to 3 and 4, but I've heard talk that it might be even tighter than that.
I think it will be.
It's all speculation at this stage.
There's $1.9 million to support the FADS program and encourage alternative species fishing opportunities. So that's a good one.
Is that a same increase, decrease? Who knows?
Oh, I don't know. It's an extra 1.9 million, I think.
Extra
you would
1.9?
assume that means more if it says extra. You would assume that.
Did it say extra though?
Do you think they'll bring out where you have to record your catch like live?
It's definitely coming in.
Yeah,
they've announced
which has been an interesting thing because the commercial guys have pushed very strongly for that, and Recfish West have been, we don't know. And I mean, I've done a bit of research on it, and when they've tried it elsewhere, it hasn't worked. They haven't been able to get good enough data. People just don't do it. There's no
policing of it.
Yeah, you can't police it. And I wonder even if they get it, how are fisheries going to deal with it? How are they going to process all this data? But it's coming. It is going to come in. The government said no. They've now sort of changed their mind, which I don't think is a bad thing. We should try it.
Yeah, because you need the whole picture before you can make a decision.
Yeah.
If you've only got commercial and you don't have rec, in these reports, that big report I had there for the South Coast demersal, it states in every fish, nanagai, pink and that at the bottom, and it says the catch from the recreational, we're not quite sure. So it sort of says something like that.
They do surveys. Fisheries do surveys. I've done them.
I've done them too.
They call you.
And they say their research is accurate, but it's
the only way for it to be accurate if everyone gets on board and gives it the best possible
and I
chance.
Because the issue you have with it is people, and they're doing it in South Australia at the moment. They reckon about 20% of people actually do it.
Yeah.
So it's only 1 in 5 people are actually doing what they're meant to do.
And
unless
data
you really get a big stick and you want to find people, which I don't know whether that's a great thing to be doing. But a mate of mine did come up with a bit of a system the other day based around when you take out your licence, you sign up if you want to target demersals, and as the skipper of the boat, you're responsible for it. So it's your duty to do it. So if you get back to
that's a good idea.
To the jetty. And he said the one thing that would do is if you're not going to fish for demersals, you can't land them, and it just takes out all the small tinny guys and that sort of stuff. They just don't ticket. So they're not. So if you're just going out to catch herring and squid, you don't have to worry about reporting. You just something like that might work
for a lot of people. Like data, giving away data is it can be often used not for the intent for the intent that you thought it would be used. And so people will go, no, bugger it, I'm not gonna give away any of my data because
getting people
they'll
to
turn
trust,
around on me, or you'll find out that you're given data about your fish, and then all of a sudden it's being used for some total different.
So trust, there's a trust, and fisheries has rightly or wrongly lost the trust of a lot of people. And one of the aspects of that has been, and it might have played a part in this, is the frames thing where you give them your frames. Now, tackle shops in Perth used to get a lot of frames, and then people stopped doing their frame. I mean, it's part of it is they're now using it all. They're keeping the wings, maybe using the heads for fish stock and chowders and stuff. But people have stopped. So then fisheries say, well, there's no big dewies. We're not seeing any big dewey frames. But are people just keeping those frames because
pretty good eating.
They're going to use them and because they don't trust what will happen with them? So that is a great point. Somehow you've got to get trust with people.
Well,
fisheries
these guys,
again.
fisheries, 2 years ago they were saying, the stocks are on the increase. And now they turn around and going, they're at point of collapse.
Yeah.
Like it's the same guys, same guys telling you that. And I trust us this time. We got it right this time.
I think one of the things, and it was a good example the other day, Jeremy, when someone got a letter in the mail.
Called him Jeremy.
Old chunky, mate. And
that's official.
And I'm talking about fines, right?
Yeah, so I know where you're going with this.
Let's say you've got an app on your phone. The skipper has to do it on the boat, and you get to the boat ramp. There is a fisheries guy there, which there is now and then, because on the good sunny days when it's flat, calm, there's always one at the boat ramp. And you come in, and at the moment, if you do something seriously wrong in the way of fisheries, like marron, crayfish, you get your boat taken, you get your trailer taken, and I would think that would be a really good way of people thinking, well, we better do this because we don't want to lose anything. I mean, someone in a car the other day that was travelling with these guys had their seatbelt on, but it was underneath their arm. How much was the fine?
$550.
And how many points?
4.
For having it on, but it was under their arm, which the driver didn't know anything about. Now,
I took me pop to Perth.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say who it was.
That's all right. I got to give him a Christmas present tomorrow. I got the fine yesterday and I'm seeing him tomorrow. So
oh, no.
I'm going to say Merry Christmas.
If you think about what happens, especially with fisheries, if you're doing the wrong thing with, marron out of season or having craze when you got no bloody pots and you don't have a licence, it's pretty serious stuff. So that probably would be
You couldn't hit
okay.
people that much though if they're not reporting on an app. Like what if my phone runs flat all the time?
I got pinged.
Haven't you got solar panels, mate?
Me and my son, 10-year-old son, a couple of years ago, went out, caught half a dozen squid. I came back in, fisheries were there. Said, "Where's your boat fishing licence?" I give it to him. He goes, "It's a week out of date."
Yep.
I said, "Oh, I'll pay right now." yeah, you can pay it right now, but you're still getting a $200 fine for £6.
Really?
And I said, mate, you can see I've paid my boat fishing license every year. I said, I must have just renewal. And he goes, direct from the top, no mercy.
It's legislation.
I said, do what you got to do, mate.
But you know what?
That's not the way to win trust of people, though, and get people to do what you want, is it? To hit them over the head with a big stick.
Well, I won't make the same mistake again. My wife actually reminds me.
But that's all it is. It's an honest mistake.
Aren't they the fastest growing thing in the ocean, just about, the squid?
I mean, when we were out at...
Maybe the old squid, bit of an expensive feed, that one.
Yeah. When we were out at the mackerels, we went out and we were just catching and releasing, so we didn't have any fish. We were just chasing trevs on the flats, and my license just lives in my wallet. And of course, I hadn't even thought about it. I had the wallet back at the shack and left it on the table and walked out. And fisheries came over. Have you got? And I went, no, actually, I haven't. But the other guy did, but it didn't matter. We didn't have any fish anyway, so it wasn't an issue. But it was just an honest mistake. I just walked out without it.
And no signal there to get it quickly. How did your trip go? Good?
Oh, it was great, yeah.
Did you go for 3 weeks?
We went for 2.5, basically. Next year, it is next year.
We're coming next year.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, 3.5 weeks we're there for next year. And with all this happening, it's going to actually be more popular. But we had a great trip, and I am a bit different to most people. I don't go out there to bring back my 10 and 10. I just want to have fun and catch fish. We brought back a couple of coral trout. And a couple of rankin, and that was about it, and some mackerel, because I really like Spanish mackerel.
Yeah.
I reckon it's great. So, but we just had a lot of fun around the flats chasing trevs, queenie, shark mackerel, got some big Chinamen, big spangos.
And what's the fishing up there like compared to how many years you been going there for?
20 years, I reckon.
Any difference in the fish stocks?
It's as good as, maybe part of it is that we've got better at it as time has gone on, but the sort of fishing we do hasn't changed at all.
Fishing.
The sport fishing we do, we still catch
What about
as
shark
many fish.
predation?
Last year we hardly lost a fish. I think we probably lost one fish maybe for two, which is, you normally do lose a few, but we went
Not
out
like
to
our Coral Bay trip.
No, we went out to a spot called the Supermarket, which is a known mackerel and tuna spot, and is renowned for being sharky. And we thought, well, we'll catch a couple of Spaniards, but as soon as the sharks turn up, we'll go. They never showed up. We just kept catching and releasing Spaniards on lures.
Fantastic.
And the sharks, we never lost one. I've never experienced that there before. But the fishing is as good up there as I think it's has ever been. As I said, part of that is probably we've got a bit better. But last year we found, the sailfish fishery and sort of worked that out. So that was big. And even this year we didn't go chasing bottom fish much, but we found some great coral trout in very, very shallow water in spots that people just go straight over.
If I don't get one next year, you're going to be in trouble.
There'll be
you
something
talk
you're a
about coral
talented
trout
fisherman.
all the time.
I'll eat my left boot, he says.
I've never actually I started fishing.
I'll do a Matthew Hayden.
I started fishing when I was 6, so that's 55 years ago, and I still haven't caught a coral trout.
I'll run around Seven Art Island naked if you don't catch a coral trout. You won't even try for them now.
That's
You'll
dangerous.
be just trolling lures for
That's
Mackies
dangerous.
for a week.
I know someone who will be trying
he's
for
got
it.
that on film.
That's my son, Brad.
You usually can't get away from them.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
pretty
I've never
aggro.
been to
They're
the
pretty
Max,
hungry.
but
They're around. They'll be the first thing to bite.
Yeah. And what we found with the Mackies, every year there's a different species that's
hold your
dominant.
tongue right, Shane.
One year it's coral trout, next year it'll be rankin cod, the next year it might be reds, and some years there's a lot of wahoo, some years you don't see them.
Yep.
Cobia, same thing. You have years that are cobia years, other years you hardly see them. Just every year it seems to be a little bit different.
That was at the Max at Coral Bay last year.
Probably
wasn't
won't see one coral
Mate,
trout
we catch
next
some
year.
cobia, didn't we?
With Shane there.
How many cobia? We would have caught 50 cobia on that trip.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them.
No, you'll get
Whatever the legal bag limit was.
I've got to show you this photo of him up there last year. We got it on the back of the boat when he pulled it
I
up.
don't think I could keep one. They look they're so strong.
Did you eat it, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was us this year. That was
We don't have flash of cameras like you guys have got.
that was on our last morning.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That is.
Yeah, that was. So there's the island.
Yeah.
That's the island you stay on right there.
Yeah, I've been there.
And that was the conditions were terrible, as you can see.
Yeah.
I've never seen the water so clear there in all my years. That's a cracker.
Isn't that a stunning
beautiful fish, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe it when it came out of the water, How's you been fishing this year since we saw you last?
Oh, I went up to the Kimberley.
To the
Went
barra?
up and chased barra. Caught a lot. Went on Kimberley Quest and caught a lot
yep.
of barra, but nothing big.
Did you go to the tournament? That was up there?
No. We went up to the Glenelg River,
Yep.
up George Water, so steamed out of Signet Bay. About
Great
a dozen
boat,
of
isn't
us, quite a few guys that I knew from Western Angler, and we had a fat old time. But
Get
we
some
didn't catch
metres?
anything. Nah, we saw them.
Yeah.
But the biggest we got was about 80, I think.
He used to work at Alquestro.
Oh, beautiful.
Heli fishing.
So you've caught meteries then?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. 93.
You fly around a helicopter, you see one basking, and you just land the chopper and throw it in front
It's
of his nose.
amazing when you sit on top.
It takes a bit of the sport out of it, but
It's amazing. I've done that with chopper, and you fly down the river and you can just see them going
they
like that
bask.
through the.
They just sit there basking on the top of the water. But
Yeah.
I have caught them in a metery, in a Chamberlain.
Yeah.
So
I haven't.
out of a boat.
93.
Wow.
Which was on Kimberley Quest about 4 years ago. But I did see one. It was amazing. We'd worked our way into this, I think it was the Gibson River, which is in George Water. And it was the bottom of the tide. So we were getting out and pushing the tinny over the sand and keeping an eye out for crocs and all that sort of stuff. And we got in as the tide came in and we thought, we'll get on the first good spot and all the barrel will come through. And we're sitting there flicking. And we caught a couple of little ones, had a couple of hits, nothing major. And then I got snagged. It was all rocky. And I said, I just nose the boat up and I'll just flick my lure off. So he nosed the boat up and I'm standing on the bow and the lure's just there on the rock and I'm just twitching it, trying to get it off. And then I look up, to sort of a foot from the tip of my rod and there's a 1.10 metre barra just sitting there facing up into the current. So we were behind it. It's
Clear
just,
water?
Yeah. Well, it was fairly clear, but it was sitting on the upside of the snag, not the downside,
right.
so not out of the current. And I said, Jesus, have a look at this thing. And then it just must have got wind of us and it just swam off into the current. Didn't go with the current. It headed off into the current. And
Maybe he was full already.
I could have poked it with my rod tip. It was that close to me.
they do strike close to the boat.
Oh,
You think, you're casting snags and stuff like that.
And they follow. And
And then we'll get, I don't know if they go,
They're hungry.
this is my last chance before it comes out, or it's going to jump into the boat or whatever that structure is. They go, this is my chance, and smash it there.
Last minute.
They're an amazing thing because they've got those eyes and the nose. So you watch them in tanks and that, and they just sit, and the lure almost sits on their nose. It's sort of sitting there like that, and they're just looking at it below going,
is this a good one?
And they'll follow it for ages, and you wonder something at some point they either go, no, or something clicks and they go, righto.
We were catching them up in the East Alligator up there in Arnhem Land, the border Arnhem Land, and that Chaos Crossing or whatever. And that is crazy fishing up there. We go down in the boat because it's 60 k's from the coast. It's tidal, the river. You got swordfish, sharks, you got crocodiles, and you got barramundi. And we were going down in the dinghy in the morning, and the tide was up. Catch the fish. Come back in the afternoon, there's no water in the river. So you're like this, and there's 10 metre crocs on either side of you looking at you, and we're sort of 1 foot out of the boat trying to get the dinghy up the river. Going, is this worth it?
It's interesting fishing.
Let's get back on track.
I thought we were on track.
Yeah, we are. But because we're not having a demersal tackle talk today, well, sort of, we're throwing them all out. And
Keep them for the mackerels.
There'll also be plenty available down south if you're coming down south.
Don't throw them out.
Or
we
if
can
you're
still
going
catch
north.
them down here.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm only joking. They cost too much to throw out. Don't worry about that. And so what's the plan for 21 months for everyone in Perth and between that 900 kilometres, Scott?
What should they be doing for the next 20 months? Well, as I said, summer, go and chase some mackies and some dollies and some southern bluefin tuna, and you can go in the river and catch flatties and flounder. And
that's right, Mulloway. Is that in
Mulloway?
summer?
Yep, great fun.
Hop on your kayak,
all year
get
round.
out there.
Yep.
And before you know, it'll be autumn.
Yellowtail kings.
We'll be catching salmon, but before you know,
well, let's hope. I mean, that would be a great thing, and it's in the lap of the gods. But for particularly sort of tackle shops from Perth down, if we got another good salmon season, because we didn't this year, it was great down here on the south coast, but nothing really went up the coast. Whereas 10 years ago, we were getting these huge runs of salmon in Perth.
Maybe they'll know what's happened, and they'll head up there and they'll go into the Swan River again.
Well, that was fun when that was happening. So that would be great, Philip. For
so that's another
for
fish you can catch while you're banned from fishing for demersals.
It's about broadbill.
Skippy on a light. Take the kids out. Get them on the light tackle. Skippy.
There'll be a lot of people chasing King George Whiting.
Yeah.
They'll be popular.
And I think that's the money that they're giving for people to go in $3.3 million.
The tackle shop stuff.
Hopefully that comes out and people are able to go and target different fish. Yeah. So maybe you'll get a rebate on some of the tackle you buy, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is, support your local tackle stores where you can, especially the small independent ones, family owned. businesses that have been around for years. I mean, that's where I cut my teeth, annoying Jim Allen at Albany Rods and pestering him like mad. He always took it well, though. But yeah, that's what I would say. Get, tackle shops, that the amount of knowledge I picked up over the years from going in there and hanging around, talking to people, buying stuff. Yeah, get into your tackle shops, go and see them, talk to them, buy
There
what
was
you
one
can.
thing, don't forget, you can still catch them off the beach.
Yes, of course.
It's only out of a boat.
Yep.
And
For
the
now.
other thing is, what's going to happen to drone fishing now,
It's going to
Scotty?
go big.
Yeah.
Drone fishing is, it's already growing
It has.
exponentially.
And they're bringing out specialised drones just for fishing.
Yeah,
So
it's
maybe there'll be a few more because you're obviously allowed to use them off the beach.
Yes, you are.
now.
And we've got a feature on drone fishing in the next magazine.
episode.
Yeah, so
I can't see if it takes off and starts hammering the numbers. Well, it's defeating a bit of the purpose. Isn't it?
Look, they're
I
not
don't
cheap.
know that drone fishing will ever.
How much are
Match.
they?
Won't-
4
won't-
grand, 3
yeah.
grand, something
Won't
like that?
impact it that
grand.
much.
Not
so it will
everyone's gonna
impact
have
the
one.
numbers.
No. I don't think it would never get anything
No.
like the boat fishing
No.
numbers. I mean, if it did, they would have to.
Prohibition's
Too shit
prohibition.
scared for the thing to go out and not come back. Anyway, thanks for coming in, boys. Matt, thank you very much. Scotty, thanks for updating us on
So I'll go and put my flak jacket back on.
all the good news. You won't get any flack down here in Albany, mate. Everyone loves you down here.
You could not be more wrong.
Just don't go on your email or look at your phone for a while. And
My name is Corg, and my boat is Corg's Crusher.
we will be having another tackle
Some
talk.
guys on Facebook threatening to knock people's tyre valves off and that. So,
We're going
so,
to get Scott back in if he comes back in, and we're going to do one for one of his favourite fish, and that's the Australian salmon when we get close to autumn.
Happy to do that.
So thanks for coming in, guys, and everybody keep fishing. Don't let this hold you back. Just remember, no demersal fishing out of Perth for 21 months, but you can still fish for all the other fish. Cheers. See you soon.
See you, boys.
thanks, mate.
This episode is sponsored by Hooked on Middleton Beach, twice voted Australia's best fish and chips, 2018 and 2024.